It is obvious by now that Usyk is on a different level than his opposition. But how exactly does he make it look so easy? And what is different in his preparation? Hello Skillr Boxers. In this video, you will learn absolutely every detail about his style, his key skills that give him an edge over his opponents, and most importantly, how he drills all of these unique abilities. You'll get both the theory behind his style, so you understand the why behind every move, and the practical side, so you understand the how behind each of them. And throughout the video, we will also give you a fully customized Alexander Usyk workout, so you can actually train all the skills we mentioned, applying the same fundamental principles he uses in his style. So let's start with the first one. Creative lead hand theory. What makes Usyk's lead hand game so impressive is his almost hypnotizing-like ability with it. Drawing his opponent's attention to that lead hand and distracting them of all his other weapons. He will often set traps with the lead hand, placing it high for the opponent to make contact. As soon as the opponent reaches, he will go under it and throw a vertical jab.
Staged in Latvia, and that is because the man wearing the black trunks trimmed with red.
His vertical jab is especially effective because he can throw it directly from his guard position. This makes it extremely difficult to read and very fast for Usyk. He simply keeps the same hand position and extends the arm, tagging his opponent quickly. He also uses that lead hand to parry the opponent's jab downward and counter with his own. In this case, he uses it against the opposite stance. As he lowers the opponent's hand, he uses that momentum to jab down with his own punch. But having an active lead hand doesn't always mean throwing a lot of jabs. Usyk constantly puts the lead hand out there using probes and feinting a lot of times in a loop, changing levels and getting reads on his opponents.
Which was disguised by a left uppercut which preceded it, and it put Vladarchik on the canvas and
He will also use this looping motion to transition to what we could consider an outside parry, to open up opportunities for his rear hand.
Two big shots straight down the middle of the... But a punch got him off balance! And another left.
He will mix feints with the lead hand and use a subtle flicker jab to disrupt and bother the opponent.
To go back to his corner feeling.
But he doesn't just feint with the hand, he will also feint with his entire body. Oftentimes, other boxers will keep these two feints separate. Usyk combines both of them together, using his lead hand and half-step feints to get more realistic feints. The constant mix-up of feints and probes will make it specially difficult for his opponents to make reads on his jabs, which make them hard to dodge. Creative lead hand. Practice. Now Usyk incorporates his active lead hand into many of his exercises. When working on the bag or shadow boxing, you will see him constantly using the same feints and movements he applies in his fights. Drilling feints and lead hand control techniques is just as important as drilling punches, as you will use them in a fight too. And Usyk knows it, which is why he incorporates them into all his training. Usyk also likes to isolate punches and drill them individually. He will specifically work on the powerful jab we mentioned, coming off the down parry. You will see him place himself in that scenario and repeat the same motion, the jab travelling slightly downward with power. In this drill, as we will see later, he not only combines his active lead hand by posting and then throwing the cross, he also integrates the pendulum step, turning it into a full body coordination exercise. Versatile volume punching theory. Now that he is controlling the rhythm of the fight with his lead hand, he can really start to let his hands go. What's really interesting about Usyk is how he barely puts that much power behind his punches. Rather, he focuses more on volume.
Кутку не лише у ринзі, а й у житті.
Да, ну и помню, что
пішов Олександр Усик.
да, Табисио подустал. Ну и Саша нелегко. Этот жест тоже понял, что он не такой уже и быстрый. Проиграл. Да, ну Табисио, видимо, порубиться он всегда не против.
Ще один.
However, the way he goes about volume punching is also unique in that of itself. On this clip, you'll see William Zepeda as another example of a volume puncher. Williams' punch volume is meant to slowly hurt the opponent to the point where they can no longer continue, while Usyk's volume punching is a lot more different. Instead of using volume to accumulate damage on the opponent and make him quit, Usyk will accurately target the opponent without really putting much on his shots.
38, it's the heaviest of his career. Big gulps of air. And I wonder, Claudia Trehouse is in Usyk's corner. Claudia, manager as well for Usyk, and now some success.
While these shots may not be as powerful, it allows him to go at a pace that a lot of other guys can't keep up with. This was very evident in the Bellew fight.
And if I'm being honest, I got tired for the first time in my whole entire career. I got tired and I don't know why it happened.
Usyk was constantly putting combinations together and tapping him with his jabs, to the point Bellew couldn't keep up with the pace anymore. Once the opponent is drained, the openings start to show up, and that is when Usyk starts putting more power behind his shots.
Bellew trying to get close enough to fire the left hook. And a good angle by Usyk as he behind him and score. And then he nailed him right down and Bellew.
It was in fact the Bellew fight where we saw one of Usyk's best shots, his rear hook, or as he called it, Ivan.
Ivan is, is like a big guy who live in a village and work in farm. He's a big guy, like a Cossack. What is your name? My name is Ivan. Yeah, it's a hard punch, yeah, Ivan.
This rear hook is similar to a regular hook, but instead of being thrown from mid-range, it is thrown from long range, using an almost overhand-like mechanic and really extending the arm.
Left hook, yes. Hook is like this hook, and back Ivan.
The hand position is also not vertical. When throwing a vertical hook from long range, it tends to slap the opponent and lose power. That is why Usyk throws it more horizontally, allowing him to reach further and generate more power.
Willingly conceding that this is the biggest fight of his career.
His hooks, in general, are very underrated. He also has a highly effective lead hook, which he often sets up by feinting with the rear hand or after a combination of punches.
Here in the last minute of this.
But as mentioned, his greatest ability is how he combines his punches in a relentless way and accurately tagging the opponent. Versatile volume punching, practice. When it comes to his stamina and ability to maintain a high pace throughout the entire fight, we have seen that Usyk and his team place a strong emphasis on swimming. Apart from running, jumping rope and other conditioning exercises, Usyk often builds his gas tank through swimming. Swimming engages the entire body and forces it to use oxygen more efficiently while strengthening the heart and lungs. It has proven to be highly effective for Usyk, especially in the later rounds of fights. He will even perform breath-holding exercises underwater to improve cardiovascular endurance and lung capacity. Now, skill-wise, we can see Usyk training his punch fluidity, reflexes and accuracy on the double end bag. This is a tool you will see him use constantly, and it is extremely useful because it is not a stationary target, forcing him to readjust his combinations, just like he has to do in a fight against a moving opponent.
Кутку не лише у ринзі, а й у житті.
Да, ну и помню, что
пішов Олександр Усик.
He also drills these fluid combinations while shadowboxing. But what truly makes his training unique is his set of exercises focused on hand-eye coordination, which gives him that impeccable accuracy and reaction time. One of these exercises is juggling. Juggling helps enhance visual concentration, reaction time, and peripheral vision. By tracking multiple objects, you improve your brain's ability to follow movement and develop precise, quick hand coordination. He also performs similar exercises, such as tossing coins and catching them quickly. Another way he improves not only his hand-eye coordination, but also his reaction time and peripheral vision is by using the Salita table. A Salita table is a grid containing randomly arranged numbers, in this case 1 to 16, designed to improve focus, peripheral vision, and mental speed. The goal is to focus on the center and find the numbers in ascending order without moving your eyes, often within a 30-second limit, to train rapid visual perception. So now we are going to put you to the test, so you could train like Usyk using the Salita table. Focus on the dot at the center. In a moment, we will fill it with numbers from 1 to 16. Your task is to track the numbers in order while keeping your focus on the center dots the entire time. Let us know in the comments if you were able to do it in under 30 seconds. So, get ready. 3, 2, 1, go! As you can see, this forces you to use your peripheral vision and react quickly. Usyk uses these exercises to translate hand-eye coordination, reaction time, and peripheral vision directly into his boxing. Dominant footwork theory. In boxing, you not only fight with your hands, but also with your feet. Positioning can make all the difference in the world, and Usyk is the perfect example of it. Typically, in orthodox versus southpaw matchups, a lot of these end up becoming fencing matches, wherein both boxers are constantly fighting to control the lead hand and the lead foot. As an intelligent southpaw, Usyk is very aware of it. He's constantly fighting to bring his lead foot to the outside of his opponent's lead foot. By doing this, he's able to bring his rear hand closer to his opponent, and it also puts it in center alignment with their head.
So Usyk has landed, has been a straight left to the midsection of what is
Alexander Usyk putting in the performance of a lifetime.
with it. See that? A little touch jab.
Oh, left hand!
Aside from just using his footwork for offensive means, he also uses it for defense as well. Again, just like a while ago, he will step outside the lead foot of his opponent, but instead of throwing a punch, he will completely angle out his body to the other side.
Where he wants him, cutting that ring off better.
Bellew coming back at him.
It's because of how accurate of a puncher he is.
Since most of Usyk's opponents are orthodox, constantly stepping out to the opponent's lead side completely takes away their rear hand, which maintains him at a safe zone, again thinking defense first and anticipating danger. The trajectory of their rear hand just isn't in alignment with Usyk's head when he angles out like this.
Regroup really well.
And oftentimes, they'll just find themselves overreaching and just hitting air.
He is moving up in weight.
That position is so advantageous because he can hit his opponents while they can't hit him.
How dangerous Chisora is.
And it works the same against the same stance. When his opponent is also in the southpaw stance, he will still take an angle toward the lead hand side and exploit that advantageous position. Usyk is able to pull this off because he is so light on his feet. He has impeccable balance and coordination, which gives him a major advantage over more static, flat-footed heavyweights. Often as a cruiserweight, and even as a heavyweight, Usyk uses the pendulum step. The pendulum step is a footwork technique used to move in and out of range quickly by hopping or shuffling on the balls of the feet. Usyk uses it to establish rhythm and to mask his attacks by taking advantage of that constant motion. Since Usyk doesn't really plant his feet when he punches, he is able to attack while moving. Whether moving forward, backward, or at an angle, Usyk can do it all. Dominant footwork. Practice. As we mentioned, the foundation of his footwork is balance. Usyk will often use a variety of balance exercises to improve his overall stability. Like his teammate Lomachenko, Usyk is a big advocate of ladder drills and plyometrics to improve footwork. These ladder drills enhance coordination, balance, and the speed and sharpness of your footwork, something that clearly translates to his ability in the ring. He also drilled specific techniques that allow him to reach the dominant angles we mentioned. For example, when shadowboxing, he practices both sides to take angles. A backstep shuffle and the front step shuffle. He incorporates these footwork techniques into his entire shadowboxing routine. Instead of staying in one place, he is constantly moving while punching. He also works on his footwork, especially his ability to pivot out or get off the line of attack with his coaches. His coaches will move toward him, forcing him to respond with a pivot, sidestep, or movement either side to get out of danger. But before moving on to his last skill, we want to give you the fully customized Usyk workout we promised at the start of the video. You will find it in the Skillr Boxing app as this week's workout. This workout includes the exact same movements, tactics, and techniques discussed in the video. You will be able to drill the same punch variations Usyk uses, practice the different footwork patterns he uses to gain advantageous positions in the ring, and incorporate all the lead hand techniques we discussed, along with the ones we are about to break down. Every Friday, we release a new workout related to our videos, just like this one. Along with the workouts of the week, you will also find helpful training modules, heavy bag combinations, and workouts inspired by popular fighters and Hall of Fame trainers. Outthink and outbox with the Skillr Boxing app. Proactive head movement. Theory. A notable pattern in Usyk's style is how he really emphasizes on keeping his head off the center. Usyk will not just move his head at the exact moment the opponent is about to attack. Rather, he is already moving his head before anything has even been thrown yet, especially slipping preemptively to his lead side, staying away from the opponent's rear hand. That, of course, whenever he is facing an orthodox. In the cases he faces a southpaw, we see him adjust and slip preemptively to his rear side. Basically, he is already anticipating the attack before it even happens, and just keeping your head in this constant motion hinders the opponents from even starting up anything to begin with. He mixes slips with level changes so his head remains out of that center line and is in a safe position for the entire fight.
He stopped doing that so much. When he was doing that, he was having a lot better success. Good job by Usyk. Doing that, he was having a lot better success. Good job by Usyk.
These preemptive slips to his lead side also load up what we mentioned is one of his best weapons, the lead hook.
Well, you were saying it's the pressure that he brings.
By slipping to his lead side, the weight is already on that side, which makes the transition to the lead hook much quicker, often catching opponents off guard. He combines all of these pre-defensive movements with a very disciplined high guard, always protecting the vulnerable areas. Other boxers tend to usually just have one or the other. Either they maintain this constant head movement with their hands low so they have a better sense of balance, or they have a very tight high guard but no real head movement. Usyk encompasses both. He has slick head movement, he is light on his feet, has dominant footwork, all while maintaining a really disciplined high guard, which makes it so hard to break through his defense. Proactive head movement. Practice. Now, Usyk places a huge emphasis on head movement. just like you would drill your punches to make them faster and internalize the movement. He drills head movements as well. This is a warm-up drill you would also see from Loma. It helps you internalize head movement in the same way it does with your punches. Moreover, as we saw when he trains his lead hook, he also drills preemptive slips. After he punches, he doesn't stay there. He gets off the center line. As you can see, what makes Usyk's training unique is that he doesn't only train punches. He takes a 360-degree approach to his training. From balance, coordination, IQ, reflexes, and vision, to stamina, fluidity, footwork, and all the skills we mentioned before. But now we want to know your opinion on the comments. Who should we analyze next and add to the Skillr Boxing app? Let us know. And if the video was interesting, you can find more on our channel. And to your left, we've chosen a video that we thought you may like.